next guest is getting rave reviews, dare I say Oscar buzz, for her role as an exotic dancer from Brooklyn in the new movie Anora. It is in theaters now. Please welcome Mikey Madison. First of all, it's wonderful to have you here. I want you to know I think of you as like the kid from Better Things, from which was one of my favorite shows that you were on, for which we watched for many years. And now here you are, grown up, playing a stripper in this movie, which took me a minute, you know, to like kind of get over the fact that, and from Brooklyn also, which is actually like kind of like my old neighborhood in Brooklyn, where I grew up, is what it seemed is where you were shooting this
Oh,
movie.
really? In Brighton Beach?
Well, I was in Mill Basin, but it seemed like you were in that area, right?
That's where the mansion that we filmed at is.
The mansion. Yeah. We lived in a mansion. No, we didn't live in a mansion. The smallest house you could possibly imagine.
Oh, okay.
But you had to learn like a Brooklyn accent and all this kind of stuff, right?
I did, yeah. So I went to Brighton Beach about a month early so I could fine-tune the accent and, you know, walk into coffee shops, test it out, which is a little bit embarrassing to admit, but I did do that.
How do you test it? You walk in, you talk to people, but you also just kind of walk around listening to people?
Listening to people, going to clubs, listening to the girls and how they speak. Or I'd walk into a shop in Brighton Beach and they would obviously speak to me in Russian first, and I would give them that blank American stare of only knowing one language.
They assumed that right. Yeah, because it's a very Russian neighborhood down there, yeah.
Oh, completely Russian.
Yes, and you learned to speak, did you actually learn to speak some Russian, or are you just kind of sounding it out?
No, I tried to learn as much as possible, but it's a very complicated language. My Duolingo is still bothering me today.
Is it?
365 days later, I'm still getting notifications like, hey, you haven't logged into your Duolingo in a while.
Once the movie was done, did you give up on the Russian, or you think like maybe you wanna, I mean, like you kind of got halfway there, right?
I did.
You did, yeah.
I gave up.
Not a great time to be speaking Russian anyway. I'd even delete that Duolingo from your phone right now. So then, and you guys shot, and correct me if I have any of this wrong, you shot a lot of these scenes from the movie in real places. Right, but the people in the places were just actually diners and whatnot, correct?
Yeah, so we did a lot of guerrilla-style docu-filming. And so we would just take a film camera and go into restaurants. Like there's this really amazing, famous Russian restaurant in Brighton Beach called Tatiana's. And so we would take the camera in there and we crashed the kitchen, they were having I think it was a birthday party that they were having. And so we brought the camera in there and filmed everyone.
And so these people who were there having a birthday party now are, unbeknownst to them, now are in this movie that could very well wind up getting an Oscar nomination. That's a pretty good birthday party, yeah.
Yeah, well, I actually don't think that they enjoyed it because Sean would be like, okay, we have to send you guys in one more time, so just go in one more time, I'm gonna pick something up, and we'd be like, we have to go back in again? And so we'd go in again, and people are like, you already showed us this photo of this kid, like, why are you back here?
They didn't understand, that you do many takes and when you're, because they're eating.
They were ready to fight, yeah.
And at that time, when you were shooting the movie, did you know, like, you had something special, like that it was gonna be something that you got a huge amount of attention for? Did you have the suspicion?
No, I don't think that's something that I think about when I'm playing a character. I was just focused on doing my work.
Has your family seen the movie?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Was that an uncomfortable situation for you, your family seeing the movie?
No, I mean, if anyone's uncomfortable, that's kind of their problem, I think.
Right, yeah.
My dad has seen it 3 or 4 times, actually.
Oh, he has?
Yeah, they're very, very supportive. My parents are psychologists, though, so they are not really well-versed in, like, the entertainment field.
Right.
Actually, when I was preparing for this role, I had to do a lot of pole training, and I asked my dad, I ordered a pole online so that I can install it in my living room.
You went on Amazon and ordered a stripper
No,
pole?
I went onto a special website to get a really good one.
Oh, okay. All right.
And my dad does a lot of handiwork for me. And so I called him and I was like, hey, Dad, can you pick something up at this place and install it for me? And he was like, oh, of course, sweetheart. And a couple days later, I got a call and he was like, oh, hey, Bunny, I installed the pole for you. Just wondering, is this like for a role or what's happening here?
Yeah, are you opening a firehouse? I mean, that's the best case scenario, right? You were also in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which was an Oscar-nominated movie. And I wonder what that experience was like, working with Quentin Tarantino. And who you played like one of the Manson family, right?
I did. I played a Manson girl. Yeah.
Yeah, you had like a crazy scene, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. I'm the girl at the end of the film that gets set on fire and is practically screaming the whole time, if that can jog anybody's memory.
You do a lot of screaming in this movie, too.
A little bit.
It's funny, too. I mean, I thought there was a lot, there's a lot of very funny moments in this movie, which I was not expecting, really. I don't know why.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you.
Well, you know why? Because when people start talking about a movie being like an Oscar, I don't know, you just expect it to be serious or something.
Well, it's a lot of dark humor.
Yeah, right.
I think, yeah. And I've heard a lot of people tell me that they feel bad for laughing when the movie's over. I don't know if
I didn't feel bad at all.
Oh.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I never regret laughing.
Well, that's a good
There have been a funeral or two, but other than that, I rarely. Back to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I assume you auditioned for Quentin Tarantino, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's my absolute hero. He's one of the reasons I wanted to be an actress. And so I got this audition, I think I was 19 years old. And I was like, this is my one opportunity to meet Quentin Tarantino. So I was like, I'm just gonna go all out. So I did a lot of research into the Manson family. And I found out that they would take a lot of acid trips together. So I painted this painting like my character was on this wild acid trip. And I wrote a very dramatic poem to Charles Manson on the back. I cut off a piece of my hair and sewed it in. And I like very dramatically performed it to Quentin. And I guess he liked it.
Did you give him the painting?
I did. And that's how I knew that I got the role, because I walked into the chemistry read and it was hanging in his office.
Oh, did your dad hang it in his office for him?
He did, actually, yeah.
Well, congratulations on the movie. It's really great. It's called Anora. It is in theaters now. Mikey Madison, everybody. Thank you, Mikey. We'll be back with Blast and Anderson .Paak.